I did want to do this video that I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. I kind of wanted to go over it with you guys to show you what exactly I use for my daily vlogs. I'm going to be using this camera to record it. This is Janet's camera. This is the T6i. I got this for her YouTube channel, but I'm going to use it for mine. So if the focus seems funny, I apologize. To get this thing started, I'm going to have to adjust this. I got to put the tripod mount onto her camera. That way we can turn this into a vlog style camera, I guess. Look at that, see? Easy as pie. Alright. Another thing that I have to work on with this camera is making sure that I turn on the audio that's in it. Alright, so I'm recording on the T6i now. I wanted to go over my vlogging setup for you guys. Just to give you an idea of what I use for my vlogging on a daily basis. I don't know if you guys keep up with the vlogs or if you're new to the channel. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I got a lot of videos in this area. I deal with a lot of tech stuff, but I also have a lot of family vlogs. So, I mean, if you like either or, feel free to subscribe. If you like tech videos, if you like this video, if you're curious about more about camera stuff, feel free to like this video as well. Let's get started. Okay, so everybody knows this camera as the Casey Neistat camera. This is basically the flagship camera that he started on originally. This is the Canon 70D. This camera is a 20 megapixel camera with the dual pixel autofocus, which is really good for focusing on the fly. That's pretty much why everybody uses this camera who has used it in the past for YouTube, is because the autofocus is immaculate. Not only that, but you can do selective focus and it works really, really well. Now, over the past couple years, they've come out with a lot of different cameras. The biggest one being the A6500 made by Sony and the GH5 made by Panasonic. Those are the top two cameras right now. They're both shooting in 4K, and people are just flocking to those cameras like crazy. Now, the reason why I haven't flocked to that camera yet is because this thing still shoots pretty good uncompressed video. The video on this thing, if you shoot uncompressed or low compression, is magic. It shoots really good quality video. I think this thing does really well. Another thing is, if I wanted to shoot 4K, I can just upload my Adobe Premiere settings to 4K. It's not a big difference. The 4K is nice, but it takes a long time to edit. And I think some of the people that are editing and seeing other cameras now, they're starting to see that the amount of time they have to spend on rendering their videos with the 4K footage. Most of you guys have probably seen where some people who originally started posting all their videos in 4K are now going back to 1080p because it just takes so much time out of their vlogging and editing day that it's nearly impossible to get things out in time. Now, if you look below, this right here is the Joby GorillaPod focus tripod. Also another tripod that Casey Neistat uses, but it's also become a very popular tripod for a lot of other YouTubers. This thing it's so versatile. It does so much. It's easy to use as a stabilizer. You can tilt the head towards you so the camera's pointing to you. You can mount this on a tree. You can put this anywhere. You can put it on the front hood of your car if you wanted to. You can stick it. It's very, very sticky. You can stick it on a roof somewhere and just let it sit there. It's a very, very versatile tripod. That's why a lot of people use it. That's why I use it, and that's why you'll probably see this in a lot of further YouTube videos. I don't see this thing going out of style anytime soon. There are people that use the hand tripods, which kind of collapse and slide out, but I think this thing is just a little bit more accessible. It works a lot better in every situation compared to if I were to have a handheld one. The handheld ones, when it slides out, it's only got like 3 little legs that pop out underneath. I don't like it because it just doesn't feel as secure in my hands when I'm holding it. Now, what we'll do next is we'll go over the microphone on this camera. The microphone I have, which I've chosen, is the Rode VideoMicro. This thing is a powerhouse of a microphone. The only downside I will say is that sometimes when I'm recording on the desktop, it'll pick up like all my little movements on the tables. You guys have probably seen that in the vlogs. It's become an issue with some of the audio that I'm recording. I try not to do it as much, but sometimes I just do, and it picks up every single thing. It's great. It's got this little, it's called a Dead Cat by Rode. It comes with it. It's pretty good in the wind. I haven't really had too many issues with it in the wind. I did take it off one time and it was horrible. It picked up every little detail, every little crackle, everything around me, it picked it up. With the Dead Cat on there, it's a lot better. So if I were you, if you're gonna get this, you're gonna record this, make sure you use your Dead Cat on your microphone at all times. The next big thing that most people need when they're vlogging is you're gonna need a wide angle lens. And the reason why you're gonna need a wide angle lens is because most cameras now, when you're first starting out, it comes with a crop sensor. Now the crop sensor basically means that when you're shooting 35 millimeters, it actually means that you're shooting in a smaller area. Your sensor is going to be smaller, and it's going to crop your video. So it's going to look smaller. It's not going to look as wide. So you're going to have to get a lens that's going to compensate for that area lost in your video. And this lens right here does it for me. This is the 10 to 18 Canon STM lens. It's really the cheapest lens for wide angle you can find in the market, with all honesty. There's nothing like it. It's super fast, super quiet. Works really well with the Canon 70D as well as the 80D. I haven't found anything better. Now I will explain myself as far as why I haven't gone to other cameras yet. I could have, this season actually, I was actually about to make the jump to other cameras, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. The biggest reason is the lens accessibility is just so tiny on the market with any other camera I've seen. The Sony camera lenses, there's probably like 2 lenses you can use with the E-mount that you can actually use for vlogging. They have a lot of good photography lenses, but there's really only like a few options. Canon, I mean, they're huge in the market with lenses. There's so many different types of lenses for every situation, every occasion. These things are awesome. They run really well, really quiet, and the autofocus on the Canon is just, it's magical. You would have to use it to really understand how good it is. Now I'm not talking about the T6i. The autofocusing is great on these, but the 70D, the 80D, a lot of the, I think it's the T7i, the 7070, the newer cameras that are just now coming out, they have amazing autofocus technology, and you'll see a lot of people converting back to Canons in the long run. I guarantee you, you're going to see a lot of people are going to be converting back to Canons right now. Another thing about Canon is really it's the best bang for the buck. Even for the T6i and the T5i cameras, they're really great quality. They shoot 1080p, pick up really good audio. The skin tones are wonderful. There's really no issue with any Canon camera that I've seen that you cannot get a great picture out of it with video no matter what. There are the original models which are pre T5i that have issues. The audio pickup is not as great, but they fixed a lot of issues in the recent years. Another great thing about this camera and why I still use it is the photography. I've just recently started to find my thing with photography. I've been learning from a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that are at church, especially Tyler. He's been teaching me a lot about that. This thing is a powerhouse with photography. It does really well. It's got really good low light. It picks up really well with autofocus. The things that this camera can do with the lenses that it has is really just amazing. I know that Sony takes really good pictures, but like I said, the lens selection is highly expensive. This setup right here alone, I purchased this camera for only like 500 bucks on Craigslist. The lens that came with it was a 50mm 1.8. It was with the camera. So $500, I had a vlogging camera as well as a really, really nice photography lens just starting out on a budget. That is major, that is huge. Now you can probably get something a little better for 500 bucks, but I mean this thing, it really hasn't given me any issues in the long run. Another thing that it's like a huge deal for me is the battery life on this Canon is pretty darn good. Now the T6i's, the T7i's, and the T5i's, the batteries are a lot smaller so it won't last as long. And then these batteries right here, they're huge, but they're easy to swap out. You just pop this cap up and right here, you pop it out, and it's like immediately out. You can hot swap this thing in a jiff. Super fast. The card slot is on the side, pop it in and out. Still very good. I mean, Canon really knocked it out the ballpark with this one. I was actually hoping really, really, really hard that Canon would get the 60 Mark II to where it could play 4K. Unfortunately, when they came out with that, they did not have the 4K in there, which is very odd because they have 4K JPEG time-lapse. It just doesn't make any sense. So they have the sensor ready, they have everything ready, but they didn't put the 4K in that camera. So at this point right now, guys, honestly, I'm just waiting to get a Canon that's 4K before I actually move up and upgrade to another camera. That's pretty much why I use what I use right now. I know a lot of people are probably curious why I still use this big camera. That's it. I want to give you guys a little bit of explanation on why I use this camera. Why is this camera still great? And I think that this thing is definitely still going to be in the game for a long time. You won't see this thing going anywhere anytime soon, I guarantee it. I love Canon products, their quality. I've dropped this thing like 4 or 5 times in my book bag on the floor. It's made it out with no scratches. Knock on wood. Well guys, that's my rant for Canon for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you have any suggestions for cameras or lenses, or any questions about any cameras or lenses that you might have. I'm not an expert. I'm not a genius on cameras. I just tell you what I know about this thing and why I like it. And that's pretty much my opinion. Well, guys, have a good one. I'll see you guys next time. That's pretty much it for today's vlog. We're probably going to get some sleep and get ready for Christmas tomorrow. Or get ready for Christmas this coming weekend. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a happy holidays. If I don't see you again, you'll probably be seeing my vlogs. However, if I don't see you, have a very Merry Christmas. All right, guys. Peace.